Hey friends, today's guest is Divya Prasad. Originating from Mumbai, settled in the Himalayas. She's a writer, a travel blogger at her blog called the obsessivecompulsivetraveler.com. She's an independent indigenous researcher, content creator, a sacred geometric artist at Iktomi, and an energy healer living her little dream in the Himalayas. She shares a deep love for exploring spirituality, sacred folklore, and indigenous cultures. A curious traveler of life, curating tales on spirituality, art, folk, culture, mountains, indigenous tribes, mythology, and ethology. She's on a journey to unearth the ancient wisdom, spiritual practices, and mysticism on her travels across India and other parts of the world. Over years of exploring the Himalayas and living there, she has penned down stories on the divine feminine as the path of the goddesses led her to explore spirituality and culture in Himachal Pradesh. Her blog, I would say, is a soulful collective of tales, folklore, mountains, culture, indigenous tribes, ethology, art, adventure, spirituality, healing, and transformational travel experiences. It's an exploration of her inner cosmos through life journeys that inspire, that connect, that root, transform, and travel deep into the heart. Divya, welcome to Life Begins at 40, and thank you so much for taking time all the way from Himachal Pradesh to be on my channel today.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
आपका बैकग्राउंड भी बहुत खूबसूरत है. You were in Mumbai and then travel happened, right? And now you live in the mountains. So how, where, when did it all happen?
So back then in Mumbai, like about 9 years ago, I was working like full time as a copywriter. So I was working in an ad agency, and I learned a lot in that journey. But I wanted to do more than that, and that's precisely why I took a break. And the break was to actually figure out, other areas of my life, and I wanted to explore life beyond advertising, because even in terms of creativity,
Hmm.
I felt it was restricting me too much. So I wanted to just explore and learn and take that time off. And uh, I came here because every time I had leaves, I would just come to Himachal because there was a sense of home um, that I felt here.
Hmm.
And I haven't felt that for any other place other than like the place I was born in, that is Bombay. So yeah, it just happened naturally. And back then, I didn't have it all figured out. Uh, I was like trying to balance my career and my other aspirations.
Hmm.
But eventually, after I came back from the break, I started working again. And then eventually, I was a little clear that, now I just want that fine, work-life balance. Uh, so, what are the things that I'm willing to give up? So, working, I mean, I've not stopped working. It's just that I've changed the way I work. And I had to come with my own plan because in the mountains, you have to uh, you have to just come with your own plan because life is very different here. So if you're if you're coming from a totally different field
Hmm.
of work,
Yeah.
uh, you have to figure out a way to like sustain yourself. And while I was working, I already had my blog. It was just like a channel to express what I experienced, and my journeys and all of that. and I had not at all like planned it to be a travel blog or any such thing in the future. Like there was no professional angle to it, but over time it just picked up, and I started receiving like invites for tourism, trips, and these little synchronicities happened, and I just embraced those opportunities. And in between all that, I also had my art venture by then. So I started weaving mandalas and dream catchers, and um, I trained myself in alternative therapy. I started with Reiki because I remember having like experienced Reiki as a child.
Yeah.
So that's how the whole journey happened, and
Quite
it just took
interesting.
its natural course.
Yeah, very interesting. So, how, two questions that come to mind. How old were you when this journey
Yeah.
started? And how did you find work in Himachal? Is it easy to find work there? And point number three, what did your parents and your family think of you just taking off from home?
Okay, so my father had an idea already that I just love Himachal, and I used to come here for like treks. So I remember coming here for the first time. I was around 21, and that is when there was no reason for me to like feel emotional about the whole thing because I was in a very happy space in life. When I came here, when I was leaving, I just felt like a very, this melancholic, sadness that you feel that about leaving a place that feels so much familiar.
Hmm.
And I don't know why that happened, but that feeling made me contemplate a lot on why I want to come back here. And my initially, yes, they were a little taken aback that I'm leaving this, like a settled life, what's normally perceived as like being settled, and 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 coming this side.
Yeah.
But somewhere deep down, I think my father understood because he himself was raised in a village.
Ah,
So he was born in a village in Kerala, and that that whole somewhere he understood me deep down. Although my back then my mom was like, yeah, you know what, your daughter is never going to like come back if she does that. And over time it happened so that they really understood, and I'm really like grateful to to have a family that actually understood what I really want from my heart.
lovely. So, how old were you when you moved, when you took this decision?
Initially, I actually started by taking like longer breaks. Like I traveled like continuously for about like 3 6 months. I
Yeah.
even volunteered with kids in Ladakh, and after I came back, I actually settled in Dharamshala so that I can work with my alternative therapy. I was actually studying, and then I happened to be in Africa on a project which was like totally like I would say that that was actually like a divine intervention. It just took me on a completely like different tangent, and how I see life.
Right.
And I came back here, and I was around 23, 24, 24, 24, 25 when it all started.
And your work with Ictori?
So Iktomi began in 2015. That was just before Africa, and how the whole journey panned out. When I still think of it, I think that's one of the moments that are very close to my heart.
Mm.
I was actually packing up from Dharamshala after my study, and I was going to. I mean, I just came across a banner which
Uh,
said, grab your dream to like South America. And for some reason, I've always loved. I had a very like a strong inclination uh, to unearth like stories about Native American lores and folklores, and I felt like a very like, you feel connected to certain places, and I've never been there, but still you have this yearning to get there. And I just clicked on the banner, and it said that if you have a blog and if you have like a good travel experience, you can apply for this. And I mean, it was just by fluke that I applied for it, and I got through it. But the only surprise that the universe had for me was that I ended up going to like South Africa and not South America, because that day, time, they were not working with the South America tourism board. So yeah, something drew me to that, and it got me to some other place. And I had also started Tommy around that time, so I felt that this is something that has just happened to me, and I feel that I felt that I should give back to the journey, in a way that I feel from my heart, and that's how I started, like weaving more dream catchers, and I carried them with me, and I met like many people who helped me on that trip, and I just shared my dream catchers with them, and I had energized those dream catchers to manifest dreams. So whatever their dream is, and it had crystals which were energized. So it was just a gesture, and but I think it has been a fulfilling journey, like personally.
do the deities heal the earth, and why the focus on goddesses?
uh, See, over time in life you realize that there's something above you. There's this force uh, that's operating around you, through you, and just this little awareness, when why is it that you go into a forest and you feel uh, there is some sort of healing energy there. There's a different kind of energy there. And why you sit by a river and you feel this sudden rush of energy, or on top of a mountain. Yeah, definitely I do believe that the you can call it deities, but I would call it energies. Yes, they heal the earth, and especially in all these ancient civilizations, including India,
Hmm.
this has been the core. It has been the core and the root of all spiritual beliefs, even religious beliefs, because religion is something that it's it's more limiting. But in India has been about, like, India and all the ancient civilizations across the earth, they have all like the wisdom is actually branching out from that spiritual nature of the soul. So in that sense, I say that yes, they are very important, because it's about the panchatattvas, the five elements, which are not only like outside us,
Hmm.
we are made of that. It's
Absolutely.
in our five fingers. Like,
Yeah. Beautifully put.
And yes.
So, where all have you traveled in your quest to do adventurous things? And what has been your best travel experience?
uh, uh, yes, I'm like really grateful to have been to a few countries and a lot more in the Himalayas actually. So that has been like the universe for me. And Himachal and the Trans Himalayan region, Ladakh and Spiti, that has been like my universe. But apart from that, I have been to like South Africa, Swaziland, uh, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, Cambodia,
Wow,
and Kenya.
beautiful, beautiful, wonderful.
That's it.
Which has been the best trip for you?
I think one was, of course, I have to say Africa, because I was in this small country called Swaziland, which is it's a raw country, like a tiny like dot on the map, and it's just the bordering country to like South Africa. And uh, I had never imagined going to Africa in my life. I never really thought about it that I want to go to Africa ever. Uh, but yes, it had to happen for some reason, and I was interested in indigenous tribes and the cultural aspect. So that always intrigues me. And I think the destination that they offered me was apt for the kind of person I am. And yeah, I met a traditional like shaman, and it was not a part of my project. I had to like sign an agreement that I'm going out of the way,
Mhm.
to into the jungle to meet to do my own thing, and I'll take care of myself. And language was a problem, but this local who was working at the camp I was at, he just told me that one of his aunts is a shaman, and I can just try and check, because it's not like you immediately get access to people there.
Right.
You have to call one person, and the other person will go and coordinate and go to her place and coordinate or something like that. And somehow it just happened, and he just said that, okay, I've got the jeep, we are going into the jungle, and I'll drop you safe. And this was all communicated without without knowing, like, without language. I didn't need language for that. He spoke in broken English, and he took me to her, and she was this very warm woman, with and there were like these African like herbs and like and crystals and stones, a lot of these artifacts which are and symbols which they wear when they dance. They wear it on their feet, to invoke like spirits. And she took me to this hut, and she asked me to, like, just stretch my like legs and sit like with my spine straight.
Okay.
And she did a reading for me, and in no time she told me that your grandmother is here. And actually she had connected to like my ancestral like grandmother and grandfather. And she told me that they say that they love you a lot. And that was quite a moment for me. So more than the project, individually it was a very deep journey for me.
Was she aware that your grandparents were no longer living?
I'm sure she was.
You didn't tell her
because
that.
she
Your conversation.
they burn an incense called infefo to invoke the ancestral spirits.
Ah,
So that hut is always separate, and it's always kept clean, like they wipe it with cow dung, and it's made of grass, and that hut is only for divination.
wow. Wow.
And then she gave me a tree bark powder, and she told me that when you have a bath, you can just put this powder and take a bath. And she also told me that I know you don't eat meat and you are a vegetarian.
Hmm.
She that's why she gave me the powder. She said I could have given you an alternative, but I know you won't consume it. So that's why this bark powder. And it was a stink powder, and this was all new, like it was a new experience, and I was still like learning. So over time, when I actually went back to my room, I was a little like I was like wondering that okay, am I supposed should I like actually try out this powder? And I actually put it in my uh, in my bath, and it turned like pink in color. And it's not something that I've like ever like experienced. It was new, but there was so much positivity there. But yeah, I did leave a tiny dream catcher with her, and I shared that. I mean, there was a strong trust that I'm like venturing out into uncharted territory, but there was so much trust that everything is okay. There's something very that feels
So
positive.
tell me
I mean,
what.
I think of that and I still get goosebumps.
Yeah, yeah. And one is always a little fearful of the unknown. For you to have embraced it, to experience it, is requires.
I was also in like I mean, I was also like in two minds. I was like, okay, I'm doing this. You go through like conflicting like feelings, but once you there comes a moment when you have this complete trust that what, leave those inhibitions. I think you are in the right place at the right time, and there's something that's guiding you.
Roughly. Divya, what has moving to the hills added to you, and what have you lost after moving to the hills?
I have lost a lot of hang-ups like that I had
Hmm.
about approaching life, about okay, today I should not go and like ask this auntie, can I have a meal here, I need to like stay here tonight, can you like help me with an accommodation. I mean, it made me more open to just be the way you are. And without like, because sometimes we also judge ourselves a lot. We set a lot of limitations on us. We feel that okay, let me see, okay, what if I say this, and what would they feel? But it made me a little more sensitive to everything. And I feel I even started looking at Bombay in a very in a different light. I no longer felt that Bombay is fast. uh, there is another, this whole aspect is there everywhere. No matter where you go in the world, people are the same.
Hmm.
It's just that your perspective keeps changing and evolving with time.
बहुत खूब
So
बोला।
I feel it's it has made me more connected, and mostly like it helps me like take a lot of decisions, important decisions, whether it's work, whether it's personal life. It it helps you like ground and make your decisions from your heart, and not fear your heart, or not fear love, or like fear like receiving things from the universe. We do give a lot, but sometimes we hold ourselves back from receiving. So that is what it taught me. And slowing down, basically. There is no rush. Even if you are in Bombay, you have like a fast life. You could be in the middle of um, like a crowded street in like Cambodia or Kumbh Mela even, and you will still feel that you can still slow down and be present in that moment.
You've been able to achieve all of this, recognize all of this without reading the zillion books that all of us are reading to reach another level of awareness in life.
Not true. Not true. Even I have read books. I have always been very drawn to like metaphysics. So I used to read a lot. And
Mm,
then the thing is, once you actually accept that you actually love something, more of those things come to you. Like someone will gift you a book, which
mm,
is exactly what you resonate with. You know, there comes a lot of resonance around.
yeah. Tell me about
So
mandala art.
mandala in Sanskrit means a circle.
Gee,
So it symbolizes the circle of life.
okay.
Now you just merely with this aspect circle of life, you can actually dwell deeper into it. So mandala is anything that is like found in like nature.
Okay.
So what is the circle of life of a flower? Circle of life of a lotus. You know how when it blooms,
Mm,
the number of petals, everything, it's it's its own. So each flower is unique, right? It cannot compare itself with the other flower,
correct.
which is exactly like it, but still different. So mandala is like a vibration in itself. So the patterns that you find in nature, the stars, the hexagons, the lotus, like flower of life, the Fibonacci, there are these certain measurements that we don't know. It's actually like a divine geometry. We, we can't really figure it out. Actually, our body is also geometry. So, what mandala does is it actually helps us channel that geometry. Like through that geometry, uh, you can actually clear a lot of blockages. You don't have to see them as blockages, but what happens is it just unblocks and channels the flow of energy within you. And subconsciously, you will not realize that the colors that you choose could be healing some aspect or could be unblocking and like something within you.
Also in others,
So it's meditation actually. It's meditation. It's
I
meditation, but of a different kind.
I fell in love with your Buddha mandala arts. They're just the colors are vibrant. They seem to heal me.
Thank you.
It's just and what do you do with
Thank you.
what do you do with your creations?
So I do put it up online and I take up orders. Mostly it's word of mouth, through people. Someone will say, okay, hey, I want this.
Hmm.
Or I want like a mandala jewelry. So I also make miniature mandalas.
Oh, and what do you make your jewelry with?
I I weave it with like yarn or I use threads. So
Insane.
it's woven with threads.
Wow.
It's I still can't knit a socks. Okay, I it's crazy that I can knit other kinds of things, but I cannot knit a socks. Even today, I forget the crochet knits. But when it comes to a circle or like on my frame, I'm very comfortable. Uh, and it's kind of I don't know how I got into this. I was always a very crafty person. Crafty in the sense I was very like my father thought that I'll go to like JJ's, but I didn't. I was someone I wanted to do biology. I ended up doing neither. And I actually like ended up doing like commerce instead,
Hmm.
because I was really bad at maths. I was really bad at mathematics. And today I can't believe that I'm actually like doing like geometry, but yeah, of a different kind.
Yeah.
So
As you said, it's all synchronicity and it is all, you're just inspired. It's all connected, everything that you're doing.
yeah, and the funny part is that I had actually like been to like Kenya, because I'd taken up a course on mandala painting at
Hmm.
Nairobi Arts Center.
Hmm.
But what happened was that the class didn't fill up. So I was traveling there for a project, and after that, I was going to take like a short, trip to like Nairobi. And
Hmm.
also, I wanted that trip to be meaningful because I was like spending my hard-earned money on it. So I wanted to make, maximum like use of that trip. Like I wanted it to be a meaningful like trip, and
Hmm.
not just like go on a vacation.
Yeah.
So I happened to stay with like an uncle who has been like settled there for like years, and
Hmm.
I went to Nairobi Arts Center uh, for the course. So they didn't offer me like mandala painting. They told me that the class is not filling up. So can we offer you pottery instead?
Oh.
So of all the places, like being from India, I happened to do my pottery course there, and I came back. But this whole and then I came back and I learned mandala weaving from a master weaver, um, who is associated with another master weaver who was from Mexico. Uh, so I was like trying to figure out that why are these things opening up, but yeah, there must be some reason. It was probably meant to be a part of my journey.
What does a normal day in Divya's life look like?
My normal day begins very early nowadays because the nights are like really long. So you wake up at around 6 thinking that it's 10 o'clock, but it's only like 6 o'clock in the morning. And that's the time I take out about 1 hour to like just, you know, relax and, meditate, and just, so that I can begin the day with a set thing. I write some things in my diary. That's how I start my day. And then starts my routine. I finish my cooking and breakfast. Everything is done like for the day. And by 10, I'm like ready to like take on what the day has to offer, or do my work, paint.
So, how is all this helping you meet your ends?
It has to, because, yes, it's different from a full time job, because here you tend to be working a lot more than your full time job, because when you go to an office, you're sitting there and you're like finishing your work, and you know that okay, this is your responsibility, that's it. And there are like many people to manage other things. So yeah, I have to like manage everything from like filing my my bills and everything. So it's actually like people perceive that freelancing is easier, because आप लोग फ्रीलांसर हो तो आपको कुछ टेंशन नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं है, ज्यादा है actually. The load is, and I lose now. I don't have this whole concept of like, जनरली सैटरडे संडे का भी वो कॉन्सेप्ट है ही नहीं, बिकॉज अगर संडे को काम है तो संडे।
What is Divya going to be at 40?
I don't know. I have not thought about it, because I don't know what I'm going to be like 5 months later. But uh, I think the only thing is that of course I would love to like grow up as as like my mother or my grandmother or my nani. They where they had this thing of like, okay, कुछ भी हो जाना life में, heart space में रहो, बस heart space में रहो. And that heart space, I think continually that is what I see myself as, that I want to grow only like in the heart space in life, no matter what challenges it brings, or what, even if things go bad, I don't want to. I think like hope is better than despair. So that's how I see myself. And at least like, yes, gratitude, like someone, I mean, end of the day I want to feel that okay, इतना है मेरे पास, वही बहुत ज्यादा है, इतना तो है मेरे पास कम से कम.
Amazing. मुझे आपसे बात करके ऐसे लग रहा है a deep sense of peace and like I found a soul sister.
मुझे भी आपसे बात करके बहुत अच्छा लगा, क्योंकि मैं आपसे काफी फ्रीली बात कर पा रही हूँ.
So, Divya, some quick fire questions. What is spirituality for you?
Being.
And what
like,
is sorry?
Being is like, to be like aware and be like fully present, and know that okay, there is something, like there is, there is there is a breath operating through you, and that little effort is like enough, like to that is enough to like build your connection with yourself. So it's the inner world and it's the outer world, but both have to coexist and help each other.
Divya ki hobby?
Dance.
Kaisa dance?
And so yes, I have been trained in like classical for a few years. I have done Bharatnatyam. So I've always been a dance person, like through school and college. So डांस का एक ऐसा चीज है कि बस वो ऐसा लगता है कि हाँ बस है, अंदर है, बस वो कोई छीन नहीं सकता. तो या एंड हाँ, हॉबीज में तो मैं कोई भी लाइक आर्ट्स, लाइक आई लव मेकिंग लाइक थिंग्स विथ माय हैंड. तो ये मेरे हॉबीज में है.
What does no one know about Divya? That one thing.
That I'm a sucker for like crystals, and मेरे पास मतलब I collect crystals. मैं जहाँ पे भी जाती हूँ, मैं कोशिश करती हूँ कि वहाँ की कोई जो वहाँ पे वो वहाँ की क्रिस्टल हो या स्टोन्स हो. ये चीज मुझे बहुत ड्रॉ करती है, और मैं एक छोटा सा ही टुकड़ा क्यों ना हो, पर मैं वो लेके आती हूँ. इसमें ऐसा नहीं है कि इसमें कुछ ज्यादा पैसे की बात है ही नहीं इसमें. ये चीजें बहुत रीजनेबल होती है कॉस्ट इसकी. ऑब्वियसली मैं ऐसे नहीं है कि मैं ब्लू सफायर लेके आ रही हूँ, बट मैं कोई ब्लू सफायर का ऑल्टरनेटिव ले आऊंगी जो कि ब्लू सफायर के प्रॉपर्टीज के तरह हो. तो ये एक चीज है. तो मेरे पास एक बहुत बड़ा क्रिस्टल काफी मैं कलेक्शन ही है. तो वो मेरे लिए बाकी मतलब शायद मेरे वॉलेट से भी ज्यादा मेरे लिए वो कीमती है.
Marriage plans?
When I meet the right one, I wouldn't want to call it right one, but my soulmate. I think that's when I will settle for love. I think marriage has to be for the right reasons, and it should not be from a place of fear or a place of need. It has to be from a place of love, and that's when it actually translates to marriage. Otherwise it's just a पेपर में एक साइन मार दिया, बस वो नहीं होता है.
आपकी फेवरेट बुक?
कई है, पर मैं बोलूंगी कि 2 बुक्स है जो मेरे को काफी एक बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट जंक्चर पे मतलब लाइफ के मुझे मिला था. अ, एक है द सीक्रेट टीचिंग्स ऑफ प्लांट्स. ये स्टीफन हैरड बर्नर की बुक है. ये कहता है कि इट टॉक्स अबाउट इमोशनल लाइक इंटेलिजेंस इन नेचर. लाइक actually it's I wouldn't even call it emotional intelligence. It's actually like spiritual intelligence in nature. Like how uh, even like a flower thinks feels about life, and you know how the whole process happens. वो काफी करीब है वो बुक मेरे दिल के. मैं कभी वो बुक भूल नहीं पाई. और दूसरा है परमहंस योगानंद जी की. वो बुक मुझे मैं जब यहाँ पे मूव हो रही थी तभी मेरी एक फ्रेंड ने मुझे दिया था. एंड उसी ने मुझे एक्चुअली रेकी में इंट्रोड्यूस भी किया था. एंड पता नहीं उसने मुझे वो बुक क्यों दी थी, पर वो बुक उस वक्त मेरे लिए बहुत ही वैल्यूएबल था. तो ये दो बुक्स मैं याद मानती हूँ. वरना इसके अलावा कोई भी बुक्स जो इंडिजिनस पे होते हैं, ऐसे सारे चीजें टॉपिक्स मैं प्रेफर करती हूँ. मैं कोई जज नहीं करती हूँ बुक को, मैं पढ़ लेती हूँ. मुझे वो बुक्स पसंद है जो सेकंड हैंड बुक स्टोर में सबसे नीचे कॉर्नर में होते हैं, कहाँ छुपे हुए, जो जिसे कोई नहीं उठाता. मैं वो बुक्स उठाती हूँ.
सेकंड बुक का नाम फिर से बताएंगे प्लीज?
ऑटोबायोग्राफी ऑफ योगी.
अच्छा, ओ ऑफ कोर्स, ठीक है. सो योर बेस्ट फ्रेंड?
मेरे एक्चुअली एक नहीं है. फिर मैं एक बोलूंगी तो फिर मुझे बहुत मार मिलेगी. मेरे एक्चुअली लाइक 5 है. और हम काफी पुराने मतलब फ्रेंड्स रहे हैं. तो आप उनका नाम चाहते हो?
बताएं.
अच्छा, तो एक तो अभी यूएस में है, उसका नाम है जीविता. हम लोग सबसे मतलब लॉन्गेस्ट हमारी मतलब जर्नी रही है. फिर एक है रीमा, एक है खुशी, एक है आरती, और भी है कई सारे ऐसे. और देवांजलि. ऐसे मतलब काफी सारे मतलब मेरे फीमेल ऐसे फ्रेंड्स है जो काफी पुराने फ्रेंड्स है. और उनके साथ कुछ अलग ही कनेक्शन है कि चाहे 3 साल बाद भी ना करे तो भी वहां से निकल सकते हैं. और हाँ, रुचिता भी है.
तो और ये सब कहाँ है? ऑल अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड?
ये सारे अलग अलग जगह पे है. कोई बॉम्बे में है, कोई आयरलैंड में है, कोई बैंगलोर में, कोई यहाँ. हम सब अलग अलग जगह में. तो हमारा कुछ अलग ही कनेक्शन है. तो बोलते हैं ना कि लाइफ में कभी कभी आपको वो सोल फैमिली मिलती है जो आपको आपके जिंदगी में कांस्टेंट होते हैं. तो ये उनमें से है.
One thing that you never tire of doing?
ऑफ नेवर टायर्ड ऑफ डूइंग इज लाइक मैं आइडल नहीं रह सकती. तो आर्ट, कोई भी तरह का आर्ट मैं कभी आई डोंट थिंक मैं कभी थक सकती हूँ आर्ट से. राइटिंग से भी नहीं थक सकती मैं. हाँ, फेजेस होते हैं कि आपको तभी मूड नहीं होता है, मतलब कभी आज पेंट करने का या आज कुछ वीव करने का मूड नहीं. पर मैं टायर नहीं हो सकती उससे. हाँ, और ऑफ कोर्स
एक चीज जो आप कभी नहीं करेंगे?
जो मुझे ना दिल में सही नहीं लगेगा. एक हमारे इंट्यूटिवली हमें कुछ चीज अगर लगे ना कि ये ठीक नहीं है, तो उसे लेट गो कर देना चाहिए.
आपको क्या चीज बहुत खुशी देती है?
स्माइल्स, ब्लेसिंग्स, एनिमल्स और माउंटेन्स, फॉरेस्ट्स.
Beautiful. You go hug trees now.
पता नहीं क्यों मुझे ना दिहार के पेड़ बहुत पसंद है।
हाँ।
और ऐसा नहीं है कि बाकी पेड़ अच्छे नहीं है, पर दिहार के पेड़ थोड़े ज्यादा स्पेशल है।
तो कुछ एडवाइस कि खुश रहने का के लिए लोगों के लिए।
एक्चुअली मैं कभी किसी को एडवाइस देती नहीं हूँ पर मैं बस ये कहूंगी कि वो बहुत ही एक पर्सनल नजरिया है, मतलब कि हैप्पीनेस आपके लिए क्या है। और मैं हैप्पीनेस में ही टिके रहना वो जरूरी नहीं है, क्योंकि वो फिर आप लाइफ में कुछ सीखोगे ही नहीं। आपको वो बैलेंस चाहिए होता है, मतलब आपको दोनों को अप्रिशिएट करने के लिए, मतलब बोलते हैं ना, सुख दुख दोनों आपके जिंदगी में जरूरी है। क्योंकि वरना फिर तो सब कुछ ऐसे ही, मतलब मतलब इनर्शिया हो जाएगा वहां पे, कोई मूवमेंट नहीं होगा, तो कोई चेंज नहीं आएगा वहां पे। तो मैं बोलूंगी आई थिंक कंटेंटमेंट मेरे लिए ज्यादा जरूरी है हैप्पीनेस से ज्यादा। देखो हम लोग के पास जो है, अगर हम लोग उससे थोड़ा बहुत ग्रेटफुल, अगर आज आपने बस अच्छे से एक अच्छा एक लंच किया आपने, और आज का आपका दिन भले ही आपके एक्सपेक्टेशंस के हिसाब से ना गया हो, पर जो जरूरत के हिसाब से वो काफी अच्छा गया हो, तो फिर आई थिंक इट्स गुड इनफ। गुड इनफ लाइक डे। कल का दिन अलग हो सकता है, और शायद जो प्रॉब्लम के बारे में मैं आज सोच रही हूँ वो शायद 1-2 हफ्ते बाद रहे ही ना। इसलिए मैं जो मांगती हूँ, अगर मैं मांगू कि यार मुझे हीलिंग चाहिए यूनिवर्स बुरे वक्त में, तो यूनिवर्स उसके लिए भी तथास्तु बोलती है। और अगर मैं मांगू कि यार मुझे लाइक आई सी इफ आई सी जो जॉइन एवरीथिंग, तो उसके लिए भी यूनिवर्स तथास्तु बोलती है। क्योंकि सबको तो भगवान ने, या जो भी आप बोलो उसको, भगवान बोलो या डेटी बोलो। आपने मुझे पूछा गॉडेसेस क्यों, क्योंकि एक फेज आया था मेरे लाइफ में जब गॉडेसेस का मुझे कुछ फील हुआ। मतलब एज एज अ वुमन मैं एक बहुत टफ फेज से गुजर रही थी, और उस वक्त मैं उस चीज से बहुत कनेक्ट कर गई, एंड दैट्स हाउ द होल थिंग स्टार्टेड। मैं तभी भीमा काली में थी, सुबह के 4 बजे थे, वहां पे गोंग्स बजे थे। पता नहीं मुझे क्या महसूस हुआ उस वक्त, और मैं उस वक्त बहुत ही नाइव थी, और मतलब मेरी उम्र भी बहुत, मतलब मैं काफी, मतलब उतनी मैच्योर भी नहीं थी मैं। और कुछ मुझे उस वक्त महसूस हुआ, फिर वहां से धीरे धीरे फिर मुझे मतलब वो देवियों वाला पार्ट मैंने एक अलग पर्सपेक्टिव से देखना शुरू किया कि एक लाइफ को भी हम एक मतलब फेमिनिन पर्सपेक्टिव से देख सकते हैं, फेमिनिन एनर्जी के पर्सपेक्टिव से। वो फेमिनिन एनर्जी कोई जेंडर नहीं है या कोई बायोलॉजिकल कंस्ट्रक्ट नहीं है, पर वो है हमारा, मतलब जो हमारा पेस ऑफ ब्रेथ, जो हमारे अंदर सांस है, वो फेमिनिन है। वो तुम्हें बोलती है कि हाँ ठीक है, जो हो रहा है होने दो, तुम बस टिके रहो। एक्शन ओरिएंटेड नहीं है वो, कि हर चीज अभी चाहिए, हर चीज अभी एक्ट करना है। दैट इज द मैस्कुलिन एनर्जी। तो मेरे 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 नजरिए में, मतलब मैं इसमें सही गलत ऐसा कुछ हो नहीं सकता, क्योंकि स्पिरिचुअलिटी बहुत सब्जेक्टिव है। जैसे आप उसको देखना चाहते हो, और आपके एक्सपीरियंसेस के हिसाब से ही आप सीखोगे, या गुरु।
जी।
और गुरु तो हर चीज में हो सकता है, मतलब हर कहीं हो सकता है। ये कोई टेंजिबल नहीं है, कोई टेंजिबल फॉर्म नहीं है।
आखिरी सवाल, आज आपने क्या
हाँ
बनाया?
पूछिए। आज एक्चुअली मैं दाल चावल बनाने वाली हूँ, पर हो सकता है कि आज एक्चुअली मुझे कहाँ पे लंच पे जाना था, और शायद मैं चली जाऊँ अभी। इसके इंटरव्यू के बाद मैं सोचूंगी कि आज घर पे ही खाना है या आज बाहर जाना है।
आपका दिल हमेशा खुश रहे और आप ऐसे ही खुशियां बांटते रहें।
थैंक यू। आपको भी मैं वही विश करूंगी कि